Welcome, DC Vigilante here. So, I've called it We Need a Hug for one specific reason. And it just springs to mind. I've been watching these YouTube channels and they've been talking about Games of Thrones. And unlike, a bit like me really, when we had that issue with what's been happening with season 8, is one of the issues that a lot of fans were going on about, apart from Arya, who wasn't supposed to kill the Night King and everything else, right? But the fact that Ghost, the wolf, basically didn't get a hug or a pat from Jon Snow, and in the books they two are quite affectionate towards each other, and all you got in that was a like that, and they blamed it on CGI and the cost of it. Oh, excuse me. But it reminds me of this fan's reaction to my own reaction when I watched Star Wars The Force Awakens. And it was one of the key moments in that bothered me, was that when, after Han Solo's death, they leave the spaceship, and Leia is there, and this girl who we've just been introduced to, and Chewie. And the minute they leave the ship, Chewie doesn't get welcomed. He doesn't get a hug either. So that's kind of like two canine sort of animal things here that's not getting a cuddle, and you would think for people that know the fandom, or supposedly know the fandom, or know the material they're writing for, they would include that. Now, J.J. Abrams apologising, whilst he did add that to that scene, and that was his mistake and stuff, and it's kind of, and then we look on to other projects, and like DC, and how it's been mishandled, because basically, you had something good going, and they just totally ruined it by thinking that these people know best what people want, and hence we've got a divide. And now, sorry, I've got a lot of wind for some strange reason after I started this. And now you got the Ghostbusters, but that's feminist agenda thing. That's, let's put in a lot of women in there and appeal to the masses. So you get, and Star Wars followed on suit with that stuff. So you've got all these companies, all these so-called writers or directors or whatnot, that believe that they know better than the fans. And every one of these, right? Every one of these things that I've just mentioned, from Ghostbusters to Star Wars to Games of Thrones to DC, they have one thing in common. And that's, they all blame the fans and not to themselves. They take something that has years and years of great material and stuff that people have gone on before, and they ruined it. You had, in the 80s, you had Batman, followed by Batman Returns, and then that was followed, not 80s, 90s I think, was it? And then you had Batman Forever, and it just got worse because they believed that they needed more humour, because Batman Returns, Penguin and Catwoman was too scary for kids, even though it was it was aimed for 12 years or up. Well, in America it would be like 13 years old, and it's just, so you take something like Games of Thrones, you have two writers who have ran out of material, and instead of waiting maybe another year until the author comes on board and gives them advice, they think they know better and they know what fans want. So they change everything. At least down to one of the most, which was most talked about franchise going, which was Games of Thrones, to the most disappointed. Ring any bells? Yes, happened to Star Wars. Ring any bells? Yes, it happened to DC with Justice League. Ring any bells? Yes, it happened to Ghostbusters when we first of all were told that we were going to get another sort of sequel to what happened before. They ruined it. They all ruined it. At least with Ghostbusters, we stand a chance of the original writers coming in and making a film that should have been done in the first place. And that's what should be happening. These writers of Games of Thrones they must be panicking in their britches right now. Seriously, because they must feel, I don't know if they were in a rush. And they just went, they'll just, and I'm sure I've heard this somewhere, because the product is so big, and I've heard this on the Avengers side of things as well, right? That because of the product is so big, that they believe that they can just make anything and people will go and just buy the tickets. They can just make anything and you'll have the viewers, you'll have the viewing, right? And there is no respect for fans anymore. Even though these people must rely on fans. I was watching a documentary on the writer of Games of Thrones, it's Martin, I always forget his initials, and he was talking about how when he was selling the Games of Thrones, he'd already sold some of the merchandise rights to somebody else, but when HBO came over, for them, they were used to handling the merchandise license. But so it took lawyers to deal with all this stuff out. They wanted to deal with the merchandise, but this guy had already sold it to this other company. Merchandise is something. Merchandise is what fans buy. I've got a Tyrion model. I've got key rings for the Starks family on my keys. I've got normal box sets and Blu-rays and animated. And Star Wars, I've got statues and toys and comics and stuff, and Batman and DC, I've got statues and comics and DVDs and t-shirts. Ghostbusters, I've got the DVD of the animated stuff, and the list goes on. We're fans, we spend our money on the merchandise. But when you go and you hire writers or people that's in the business that either have not cared or ceased caring about what the fans need or want and think that their vision is a lot better, then you need to wake up. You really need to wake up. As fans, we need to be cuddled. We need the assurance that our love and our passion is going to carry on for the next generation over, and that's why we get hipped up, and this is why we get people that talk about, and we get YouTubers called the nerds. And why do you care so much? Well, that's what fans do. Fans care, and I was in my work today, and I was showing one of my work colleagues this YouTuber, and he was talking about Games of Thrones and talking about hugging the wolf, and he's standing there and he's watching the guy, and he sees all the toys and all the memorabilia that's behind. So my boss looks, he's just a geek, he's a nerd, he has no life. And I was saying, excuse me for calling the kettle black, but you're a Trekkie, okay? Your house is covered in Star Trek memorabilia. You have plates, ornaments, cups, t-shirts. You got emotionally, angry that with the Vulcans and how Star Trek Discovery's doing. So don't you stand there and watch this wee bit on Games of Thrones and start calling somebody, he's just a geek, or fans and whatnot. You're basically talking about yourself. And for anybody who actually disagrees with these YouTubers out there that are talking passionately about their stuff, then please take a mirror and look at yourself. And the reason why you're getting upset with him is because you're trying to defend something that you like as well. And we're all geeky, we're all fans. And we all need insurances. So when it comes to little things like hugging Chewbacca or hugging the wolf, you know, or anything, right? The creators need to put the fans first and not their own egos. Okay, this is DC Vigilante. That's my truth. Catch you later.